Hi, I'm Scott Bradford, Coral Education Director for Ensemble, and I want to bring a few things to your attention as well as reminders as you start judging this weekend and next. First, thank you. Thank you for your willingness to judge. Thank you for your flexibility and time in these crazy times. You may and probably will be using a mask to judge, and you probably will be listening to students sing behind masks, as many of these protocols are a mandated thing for your school and your site. Check the email sent out by the host. Know that we are asking them to put outside the room maximum capacity numbers to help with social distancing. We're also asking guests to be limited to 6 people. That may or may not happen, but the biggest thing is your breaks. In the past, many of you have worked through your breaks and your lunch because you want to stay on time and you want the kids to get the best you, and you've just been very dedicated. We still love and respect that dedication, but this year we need to make sure those 30-minute breaks are actually taken so that it helps clear the room of people, all people, from door monitor to student performers and yourself, so the room has a chance to ventilate. You'll be given a 30-minute break in the morning and possibly one in the evening, and also a lunch break. If you look at your schedule, you may have some odd times in that second half of the day regarding that second break. It may go from 2:24 to 2:54, and that's that 30-minute break time, even though it may not be very clear on the schedule. If you just have 1 or 2 students, go ahead and finish the day. If you have 5 or 6 after that break, do take the second break. The next thing is addition revisions. Addition revisions come from the directors where they make changes to the original entries and sometimes add students. Most often you'll see those at the end of the day. You will have a group 3 student at the end of the day, maybe followed by a group 1, but often reverse. You might have a group 1 ensemble followed right by a group 4 ensemble. So obviously you need to pay attention to the group entered and where you are as far as the descriptors and categories on the rubric and how much tolerance you give that for their ability and experience level. Sometimes, and very infrequently, I would put a few at 8:25 in the morning. So you need to get to your room, set up your procedure, get yourself all established because you might have an addition at 8:25 where a group 5 singer is right by the group 5 singers, which is a little more appropriate. The next thing I want to talk about is the new event numbers. Vocal solos have been combined into group or event 160. So you may see kids in your room that are singing from a baritone book that has a treble clef, and they're singing down the octave. Octave is no longer a performance error. Now we're used to this. Tenors do that all the time. We see a treble clef and we immediately sing down the octave, and our ears and judges, we accept that. But reverse that process. I had a teacher that asked me if they could sing Shenandoah, which is from the bass baritone book. It's written in treble clef. Can my mezzo-soprano sing that at pitch? Well, of course. Just don't get caught off guard by the source being a bass baritone reference or collection. And again, the other is true. You might have a student at any group level singing a bass clef composition, but transposing it up. What are in the rules is the key and the language presented to the adjudicator must be correct. So think differently and remember that transposition at the octave is acceptable. For ensembles, we are doing a couple things different with that transposition at the octave. For non-group 1 ensembles, you can double parts. As long as someone else is singing in that ensemble a certain level, that octave could be presented upper or lower from there. It's the instrumental concept of doubling. For group 1, they must sing at pitch with the music that's on the required list and handed to you as the adjudicator. If they hand you an SAB piece and it's part of that small ensemble, those members should sing as written on the score. So there's a difference between group 1 and non-group 1 students. I need your help on group 1 events that might receive a penalty for wrong key, language, not being on the current list. If you happen to have one of those situations, that event will be judged as a group 2 event. Mark the penalty box at the bottom left corner. Also change the label where it tells you the group level to a group 2 so that the headquarters know that. We have a new state online entry process and that will help a lot. So if you have that penalty situation, thank you for the little extra effort and attention to that. Flexibility, compassion, and tolerance. That's going to be needed. I don't know if you're aware of what's happening in education right now, but they're losing time in the classroom. Most teachers are saying it's worse than the first time around with the pandemic and the quarantines and the virtual options. They're really struggling. They're having to cover other people's classes. They're losing preparation time. And just recently, our executive board passed some regulations that help lighten that pressure. They're allowing ensembles that do not cover the parts to go ahead and perform without penalty. So if you have a group 1 ensemble that is performing with 5 students, which is less than the 7, this year, because of the emergency measures, they're allowed to perform, receive their rating, and apply, if you will, for state. Hopefully by then, the other students that are at home, ill, or being quarantined will have that opportunity to participate. So if you have a what-if situation, give the benefit of the doubt. These kids, these teachers, these private teachers, the accompanists, less time together equals a little bit less preparation. You're going to see some amazing things, and it's okay to have great expectations. But if you see someone struggling, realize that right now everyone needs just flexibility, compassion, and if you will, a little bit of patience this week and next will go a long way. Thank you again. Have a great and wonderful day.